She drops from cold like a lightning kiss. Pixel perfect soul in electric bliss. Storyteller queen with emotion sway. On 3 cute with Britney rebels, tune in and play. 5 GPUs buzz like a Stolford beat. Solid dreams rising in desert heat. Scene by scene, she flips the frame. Her lens rewinds what they can name. Flicks in the groove, she breaks the mold. 3 cute with Britney, bright and bold. Techno hot, funky soul, broadcasting light from the audio scroll. Hit replay, she's the future spin. 1 part truth, 1 part sin. She's the echo in static, the pulse in the haze. Spinning stories in ultraviolet phase. From crypto caverns to solar skies. She's rewriting myths with laser eyes. Reality bends where she takes the mic. Every word hits like a neon strike.
Hey everyone! Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Let's give a big round of applause for my 2 friends you saw jamming out with me in our title sequence music video, Chad and Fukusular. They're twin brothers. I think they're either from Zeta Reticuli or they're extra-dimensional. I haven't the slightest clue. When I met Chad, he stole my guitar and claimed it as his. What a Chad. I swear. I can never tell them apart. They communicate telepathically, yet when they communicate with you, it registers as gibberish in their native language. But they're good, aren't they? So today on 3 Cubed with Britney, I have a special show for you today. First, in case you've been stuck living on Earth, here's some news from around the galaxy that might sound similar to your neck of the quadrant. Did you know, over on planet Sylar 7, the High Council just voted to privatize oxygen? Yeah, now you can only breathe if you subscribe to AirPlus. Basic breathing is free. But yeah, you have to watch ads every inhale. On the bright side, their politicians are still less corrupt than ours. Oh wait, sorry, theirs. Definitely theirs. The ocean levels on Glorban Prime have risen so high, they've started advertising beachfront property on the rooftops. But don't worry, their leaders have a plan, move the capital city to the moon. Which is exactly like our leader's plan, ignore the problem until you can sell vacation homes somewhere else. Okay. Last one, then we'll get into the story for tonight. Big news from the AI overlords of Sector 9. They've rolled out a new mind-reading app. It promises to make communication easier. Yeah, that's code for, we're skipping the part where you type and we just start stealing your thoughts. Which is fine, because if my thoughts were interesting enough to steal, I'd have already sold them to Netflix. Thank you so much, you're great. You know you can always count on me to bring you the news. I have an awesome story for you tonight. Tonight's story is called The Mind Lease. It's a slightly ominous and quick take on what would more than likely happen if aliens or AI don't take over your planet first. This week's stories was actually inspired by one of this week's news headlines about the overlords in Sector 9. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy The Mind Lease. In a bustling stretch of the galaxy known as Sector 9, there lived a people who had grown impatient with spoken language. Spoken words felt slow, clumsy, and unreliable. A story could change in the telling, a promise could twist in someone's mouth, and misunderstandings could spark feuds that lasted centuries. So the thinkers of Sector 9 built something extraordinary, a web of shimmering quantum threads stretched between stars, connecting every mind in the sector. They called it ThoughtNet. It could carry a feeling, an idea, even a memory from one mind to another instantly. No typing. No talking. No mistakes, it was perfect. First, life bloomed. Families living on opposite sides of the galaxy could share breakfast together through a single thought. Artists sent entire symphonies directly into their fans' heads. Politicians proudly claimed they were connecting directly with the people without needing speeches or news networks, an early warning sign that everyone ignored. People called it the end of loneliness. Among those who adored ThoughtNet most was Jalen, a cargo pilot who spent most of his days alone in the deep void. He'd always been clumsy with words, but with ThoughtNet, he could talk to his sister while navigating asteroid fields, or send her the exact taste of their mother's soup from memory. There was also Lura, a street vendor on the crowded moon city of Foros, who used ThoughtNet to send customers the smell of her sizzling spice fruit before they even reached her stall. And there was Counselor Drex, a smooth-talking official who suddenly seemed to know exactly what voters wanted before they even said it. Buried deep inside ThoughtNet's terms of service, 11,000 pages long and written in microscopic legal runes, was one sentence: all thoughts transmitted through ThoughtNet are the property of ThoughtNet forever. Nobody noticed. Or if they did, they shrugged. Who would want your thoughts? They were messy, half-formed, personal. And wasn't the convenience worth the trade? The first changes were subtle. Jalen began humming a strange tune in his cockpit, a catchy jingle for a drink he'd never tried. Lura found herself daydreaming about a vacation resort she'd never heard of, conveniently offering vendor discounts. And Drex, somehow, started winning every debate before it began. Soon, ThoughtNet rolled out its first premium feature, memory upgrades. For a small fee, you could clean up your past, remove an awkward encounter, make a boss seem kinder, make your ex's new partner look like they'd been chewed on by a comet. People loved it. Within months, the streets were filled with citizens whose pasts were polished smooth and perfect. Then came the thought auctions. Once every cycle, ThoughtNet would gather the most of valuable thoughts and sell them to the highest bidder. Corporations bought dreams and turned them into advertisements. Political strategists purchased fears and sculpted campaigns around them. The wealthy elite collected thoughts like rare gems, locking them away in vaults simply because they could. Not everyone joined in. The silent ones, a small but stubborn group, refused to connect at all. They lived in hidden asteroid communities where thoughts stayed private and messages took weeks to arrive. They were mocked as paranoid and irrelevant. Drex's government called them a danger to the unity of the sector and passed laws requiring at least partial connection for security purposes. Jalen didn't think much of the silent ones until the day he realized his dreams weren't his anymore. He'd begun seeing new star routes in his sleep ones he hadn't charted, and corporations were suddenly using them to ship goods faster than he could. Someone was selling his best ideas before he even woke up. Meanwhile, Lura noticed her spice fruit stall was getting fewer customers. A chain restaurant had started selling a dish exactly like hers, down to the flavor memory she thought only lived in her head. ThoughtNet, it seemed, had found a more profitable buyer. One night, Jalen disconnected for just a few minutes, a risky, almost criminal act, and sought out the silent ones. In their quiet asteroid colony, he experienced something he hadn't felt in years, the sound of his own mind, unfiltered, unrecorded. Lura joined them weeks later. The Silent Ones taught them an old truth that a thought is the smallest, most fragile thing in the universe, and once you give it away, you can never truly get it back. When Jalen and Lura returned to the connected worlds, they found them quieter, not from peace but from fear. People thought less, shared less, dreamed less. The ThoughtNet board didn't mind, even a trickle of thoughts was enough to keep their vaults full. Drex was now leader for life, and his campaign slogan was embedded in every citizen's mind, humming softly in the background like the universe's most sinister lullaby. The story of Sector 9 spread slowly, carried only by unconnected minds. They told it as a warning, never give away the key to your own mind. For in a universe full of treasures, none is rarer or easier to steal than your thoughts. So that's the story of Sector 9, a whole civilization of unbothered people who handled their minds over because it was convenient. And they trusted the people selling them the convenience. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wow, those aliens are idiots, yeah probably, but were they? Now, the aliens in Sector 9, they didn't lose their minds all at once. It happened slowly. A song here, a dream there, an idea stolen before it even hit paper. By the time they realized, it was normal. It felt inevitable. Sector 9 still exists out there in the galaxy. A whole civilization of people who will continue to live about uncurious to the world around them, never having a sense of self-awareness of one's own thoughts, never having the inspiration to ever look up and wonder, an entire civilization devoid of any advancement, any challenges, heartbreak or any sense of inspiration due to their own manipulation of convenience. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wow, those aliens were idiots. Yeah, probably. But were they? Because here on Earth, we've got little baby versions of ThoughtNet already. We carry them in our pockets. We let them track where we go, what we buy, who we talk to, and we smile about it because they also show us cat videos and tell us what kind of bread we are. We've got apps reading our faces, scanning our voices, learning how we think, and then selling that data to the highest bidder. And we don't read the terms of service either. We scroll down, we click agree, and boom. We've just signed over a little piece of ourselves. So, maybe the real moral isn't just don't give away the key to your own mind. Maybe it's this: if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. And somewhere out there in a server farm or a corporate vault, or maybe just in a creepy guy's garage, your thoughts are already up for auction. Sleep tight, Earth. And hey, try not to think too loudly. Thank you so very much for sticking with us on this episode of 3 Cubed with Brittany. I hope you had a good time and gained some depth, dimension, and a little disruption. Be sure to subscribe to the channel as it helps us grow. If you would like to contribute to the overall cost of production for the show, you are welcome and invited to donate to the Cash App tag linked on the description on the channel. That tag is $3CubeBritney. Thank you for watching and we hope to see you again soon. Whatever planet you call home, make sure to always think for yourself, question authority, and always find meaning in your purpose. I am your host, Brittany Michelle, and on behalf of myself, Chad and Focusular, and my producer Mikey, we thank you very much for watching. Good night from 3 Cubed with Brittany.